Alright guys, so I've been making this argument for a long time. The sovereignty and integrity of our institutions is under attack from the left. They simply do not care about our judicial system, right? They don't care about due process. They don't care about what goes into protecting our Constitution and the foundations of this country, right? Now, we've seen this before, right? During the Derek Chauvin trial, where Maxine Waters went out there and basically called for violence if the outcome of the trial didn't go the way that she wanted it to go. And then when it came to the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, we also saw George Floyd's nephew, Mr. Cortez Rice, go out there and try to dox the judge and the jury of the trials involving the police officer that was involved in the shooting of Mr. Dante Wright, and also the jury of the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. Now, lo and behold, we have more attempts to attack the sovereignty and integrity of our institution coming from the left, as the judge for the Kyle Rittenhouse trial has blocked MSNBC from being able to be present at the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, as allegedly there was a journalist or somebody who's associated with MSNBC following the van of jurors that carries them to and from the courthouse last night, according to police reports. Now, I want you guys to take a look at this clip of the judge banning MSNBC from the courthouse, and also MSNBC essentially coming out and admitting that a freelancer was in fact involved in this incident. Take a look.
Last evening, a person who identified himself as James G. Morrison and who claimed that he was a producer with NBC News, employed for MSNBC, and under the supervision of a person. What's going on? Oh, okay. Under the supervision of someone named Irene Bayan in New York for MSNBC. The police, when they stopped him because he was following at a distance of about a block and went through a red light, pulled him over and inquired of him what was going on, and he gave that information and stated that he had been instructed by Ms. Bayan in New York to follow the jury bus. The matter is under further investigation at this point, and the media has asked questions about it. That's the latest I have. And he was ticketed for violating a traffic control signal. He's not here today from what I'm told, and I have instructed that no one from MSNBC News will be permitted in this building for the duration of this trial. This is a very serious matter, and I don't know what the ultimate truth of it is, but absolutely it would go without much thinking that someone who is following the jury bus, that is a it's extremely serious matter, and will be referred to the proper authorities for further action.
Now, we did see the judge take the stand or come to the bench earlier today for an unrelated matter. This happened outside of the presence of the jury, and he responded to a report that we got from the Kenosha Police Department last night, saying that a member of the media was suspected of following the jury van after court yesterday. The judge named a member from MSNBC. He said he's taking this extremely seriously. He went on to say that he is investigating this further, and we also know that he's banning members from MSNBC, any MSNBC personnel from the courthouse at this time. Now, NBC spokesperson did release a statement. Let's put that up on the screen right now. It says, last night a freelancer received a traffic citation. While the traffic violation took place near the jury van, the freelancer never contacted or intended to contact the jurors during deliberations and never photographed or intended to photograph them. We regret the incident and will fully cooperate with authorities on any investigation. Again.
All right, guys. So as you can see, that's very, very, very disturbing, right? You have a so-called freelancer or journalist who goes by the name of Jamie Morrison, following a bus with the jury from the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. Right now, allegedly here, Morrison claimed that his supervisor, Irene Baron, who works for MSNBC or NBC in New York, gave him instructions to do this. Right? That's what it's been alleged here. Now, my thing is this. We don't necessarily have all the details and the facts regarding this stuff. So, again, a lot of this stuff is still alleged. But in my opinion, from what we know right now, right, in terms of what the judge is saying, the police report, things like that, there's no doubt in my mind, guys, that this was an attempt to dox the jury. Right? There's no doubt in my mind. As the mainstream liberal media is furious about how this Kyle Rittenhouse trial is going, and they will take any actions necessary in order to try to sway the outcome of this trial. They just will. Right? Again, and we've seen this stuff happen before in the past because the precedent had been set in the past that it is okay to do this. We saw this with Maxine Waters. We saw this with Mr. Cortez Rice, George Floyd's nephew. Okay? And the mainstream liberal media says nothing about it because they don't care about the sovereignty of our institutions. They don't care about the integrity of our institutions. So there's no doubt in my mind that there is some people in the mainstream liberal media who want to expose the identity of this jury, right, and try to sway the outcome of this trial, okay, because their idea of justice is mob justice, right? It's mob justice. It's mob justice. And this is where we at in this country, guys, and this is why the left in the media is so dangerous. They're so dangerous. They don't care about the Constitution. They don't care about the principles that this country was founded on. Just because you hate the fact that Kyle Rittenhouse acted in self-defense, and it seems like, as of right now, that, you know, this trial may have a favorable outcome for him, doesn't mean that you need to dox a jury. And my question is, who's going to be held responsible for this? Is anybody going to hold MSNBC or NBC responsible for this if this turns out to be true, right? That somebody at their institution, their company, ordered this, right? Told a freelancer to go do this. Is this person going to be fired? I hope so, if it's found out to be true. If it's found out to be true. And guys, I got a question. You know, at what point do they declare this trial a mistrial? Right? Because the judge said at one point that the prosecution had committed a grave constitutional violation, right? No mistrial. They withheld evidence, right? Withholding full video evidence of what happened during the Kyle Rittenhouse incident. No mistrial. Now the media is following the jurors home. No mistrial, right? So at what point can there be a mistrial? We know it didn't happen on Derek Chauvin when, again, Maxine Waters and others, you know, prominent figures in the Democrat Party and the media were calling for violence and more protests and riots if they didn't get the outcome that they want. No mistrial. No mistrial. So at what point is there a mistrial? What point? Because I can't really tell if it's actually possible. And guys, this is why when it comes to high-profile trials and cases like this, the jury should always be sequestered. We live in a social media era, guys. People on their phones all the time, 24/7. It is impossible not to know what's going on, right? It's already bad enough that everybody and their mother knows about what happened with the Kyle Rittenhouse thing. It's hard not to have an opinion going into it, okay? So at the very least, the jury can be sequestered, right? Put away from the public so that they can't see the protests and the calls for violence, right, that have been out, that some people on the left have been putting out there just in case they don't get the outcome that they want. Because in my opinion, this stuff definitely influences the jury, right? It is insane to think about the fact that the jury was not sequestered or has not been protected more during these types of trials. It's absolutely crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And that is what must happen moving forward, guys, because I'm telling you, the left, they have no boundaries. They do not care about the sovereignty and integrity of our institutions, and they will do whatever they need to do to get their way, regardless of whether or not it's right or wrong, regardless of whether or not, you know, it goes along with the values and the foundation of our country. They don't care about that stuff. They simply want mob justice. So, yeah, there's no doubt in my mind, guys, that there are attempts from the left, and again, you know, this is alleged, okay? We don't have all that much information about it yet, but if it is true, there's no doubt in my mind that this was probably an attempt to try to dox a jury, to try to find out their identities, in order to try to influence the outcome of the trial, right? And I hope that whoever's responsible for this is held criminally liable for it, okay? Because this stuff should have a zero tolerance. Zero tolerance. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.